What would you do if one wrong decision could end the world? If a single miscalculation, a single word, could turn the earth into ashes. In October 1962, the world came minutes from a nuclear war. Two men, John F. Kennedy and Nikita Khrushchev, stood on the edge of Armageddon. U.S. missiles in Turkey, Soviet missiles in Cuba. One wrong move and the planet burns. Watched in terror. The countdown had begun. How close did we actually come to nuclear war? What secret deal, hidden for decades, truly saved humanity? Stay till the end, because the answer will shock you.
After World War II, the world split into two halves, one under the US, the other under the Soviet Union. Each side racing to prove who was stronger, faster, and more dangerous. But here's the question: what happens when both superpowers feel threatened? The US placed nuclear missiles in Turkey, right on the Soviet doorstep. So, how would Moscow respond? The answer would soon appear, 90 miles from the coast of Florida. The Soviet premier, Nikita Khrushchev, saw an opportunity. Fidel Castro's Cuba had just survived a US-backed invasion at the Bay of Pigs. And Khrushchev asked himself, what if we put our missiles in Cuba? Then America will understand what it feels like. Soviet ships secretly carried nuclear weapons to the island, disguised as farm machinery. But could they really hide them from American eyes in the sky? On October 14, 1962, a U-2 reconnaissance plane captured the unthinkable. Photos showed Soviet nuclear missiles being built in Cuba. Kennedy now faced the hardest question of his presidency. Do we strike? Or do we wait and risk losing everything? Advisors pushed for airstrikes and invasion. But Kennedy, calm and cautious, chose a middle path, a naval blockade. He called it a quarantine. The Soviets called it an act of war. For 13 days, the planet held its breath. The U.S. military moved to DEFCON 2, one step away from full-scale nuclear war. People built bunkers. Schools practiced duck and cover. And everyone asked the same question: is this how the world ends? In Moscow, Khrushchev wondered if Kennedy would fire first. In Washington, Kennedy wondered if Khrushchev would blink. It was a global staring contest with humanity as the prize.
Then came October 27, now known as Black Saturday. A US U-2 spy plane was shot down over Cuba. Another strayed into Soviet airspace. Military advisors demanded retaliation. But Kennedy stopped them and asked one haunting question: if we fire first, can we ever stop the chain of destruction? That question, that moment of hesitation, might have saved the planet. For hours, the world stood seconds away from nuclear annihilation. And then, a message arrived. Khrushchev offered a deal: remove the missiles from Cuba and the US. Promises not to invade. But there was more. A second, secret message demanded something America couldn't admit publicly: the removal of US missiles from Turkey. Kennedy faced a choice: Reveal the deal and look weak, or agree quietly and save the world. He chose silence. The missiles left Cuba. The U.S. quietly removed its own from Turkey months later. The world sighed in relief, never knowing the truth.
The world wasn't saved by power, not by bombs, armies, or fear. It was saved by restraint and a secret backdoor deal between Kennedy and Khrushchev. While the world believed America forced the Soviets to back down, both leaders quietly agreed, Cuba for Turkey. No victory parades. No press releases. Just two men choosing reason over ruin. The planet lived on because, for once, ego stayed silent. And that's the question history leaves us with. If restraint once saved humanity, could it save us again?